Does anybody know what's going on with the Cooper Flagg recruitment right now? Where does Duke stand with some of their other 2024 targets that are already freshmen making waves on campus for the 2023-2024 Duke basketball season? I mean, we've got a ton to discuss with our pal Pablo Cong on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils.
Hi, everybody. Dick Vitale. Hey, make sure you listen, man, to Locked On Blue Devils with JJ Jackson. He's awesome, baby.
You are Locked On Blue Devils, your daily podcast on the Duke Blue Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the Locked On Blue Devils podcast. My name is JJ Jackson. It's so great to have you here with us on this Friday, October 6th, 2023. Fridays are amazing, and we've got a fun basketball conversation coming up for you here today. A reminder, Duke football on a bye week this weekend. They're riding high, that 4-1 record, 5 games into the season. So no Duke football this weekend. We'll focus plenty on this Duke men's basketball team with our good pal Pablo Cong, who joins us on the show here today from Durham. If you have not done so already, please be sure to follow and subscribe to our podcast for free wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star rating and written review. Also, watch the show daily on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to our YouTube channel. You can follow the show, share the video with your friends. Your support means a lot there on YouTube. Comment down below. We love interacting in the comment section of our YouTube page. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at LO_Blue Devils, and I'm on Twitter at _JJ_Jackson_. So without further ado, let me bring on my good friend Pablo Cong, who joins us again from Durham. And Pablo, it's a great time of year. Here we are counting down the days. 4 weeks from this coming Monday, we will see that first official Duke men's basketball game.
Yeah, hey, how you doing, JJ? Thanks for having me again. I know we played phone tag a little bit the last week or so, trying to get this done, and I'm happy to be here. And yeah, man, 4 weeks, and then it's time for some entertaining stuff, some Duke basketball, man. I'm excited.
That's what we need, and that's not even counting countdown to craziness, right? So we're going to get our fix a little bit sooner than that, but just 4 weeks from this coming Monday, we'll have that official game that takes place, Duke taking on Dartmouth to kick off the 2023-2024 season. So with that being said, it's basketball time. Practice is here. We've had a week full of conversations about these scrimmage videos that are being released and kind of takeaways and reactions to that. So I don't know if the circle that you're a part of, Pablo, just everyday conversations that you're having, I'm certainly having way more basketball conversations than I've had over the past few weeks. Are you feeling the same thing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's all about basketball right now. And, the excitement is in the air. Duke is coming on strong. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody I talk to, they feel good about the team. We get the social media posts, the practice videos and stuff. So we just, I think everybody's excited, man, in the brotherhood. And we just ready to go.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about this upcoming season a little bit later in the program. We'll start, though, giving people what they want, a lot of basketball recruiting topics to kind of dive into today. You had a recent recruiting roundup story that I would encourage people to go check out. Please go read balldurham.com. Great work from Pablo on this one. But I got to ask you this. What in the world is going on in the Cooper Flagg recruitment? That is what everyone is wanting to talk about. We had some news at the beginning of the week. Cooper Flagg has canceled his visit to Kansas. Pretty significant in kind of the recruiting piece and timeline here for Cooper Flagg. What's going on there, Pablo?
This is Cooper Flagg being Cooper Flagg. The excitement is in the air. I know, with the canceled Kansas visit, I was one to not really put too much stock into the whole, Bill Self getting involved in Kansas, getting involved thing. But, I probably can say that now and everybody's like, oh, yeah, you're saying that now. But, I've always felt that way. I've always felt like it's Duke and nothing is changing with me. I'm like almost 100% sure that, he's going to be going to Duke, and that's how I feel about it. I think if you just pay attention to, the trends and what's been actually going on, from coaching staff tweets and things like, you don't see a lot of that from Duke. You know what I mean? But when certain news broke, you've seen a lot of that. So I think it's telling us a lot. So I think if you just pay attention, you'll see the writing is on the wall.
You take a look at this recruitment of Cooper Flagg, and now it feels as though it's a two-program race between Duke and UConn. And this whole week, we've been kind of reacting to the Kansas cancellation, expecting a commitment of some sorts. Cooper Flagg, as of now, expected to still be at Countdown to Craziness for Duke basketball here in a few weeks. And the whole time, it's kind of felt like, Duke's going to be able to get the job done and land Cooper Flagg's recruitment. It almost feels like a slam dunk. And then, I don't know, just the Duke basketball fan in me, Pablo, that makes me a little bit more nervous as we get to the 11th hour, that maybe there is going to be kind of the mad scientist, Danny Hurley, that the internet claims out there is going to come in and kind of win his recruitment over. I mean, do you really think that Duke should still feel confident about the chances of landing Cooper Flagg, or where does UConn kind of factor into this?
I think UConn, I think it's just one of those things. It's kind of just a formality type thing that's going on. I mean, obviously I don't have any inside information. This is just what I feel.
Sure.
I think it's more of a formality, like the visit and everything. I think it's, just paying out of respects, him being from that area, with the relationship with the mothers and all that going on. So I get it. I understand it. I think it's a respect thing. So it was good to see that, I mean, honestly, and I'm a Duke fan, but it was good to see, him visit UConn. But ultimately, like I said, JJ, don't be worried, man. I think we're good, man. We're good. We are going to get Cooper Flagg, and I am certain. Obviously, things do happen. Things do happen in recruiting. And we seen, the thing with Flory. I mean, it was like 100% Duke, and then out of nowhere, Kansas swooped in. Well, guess what? They're out the picture. We only got one more school to bypass, and I feel like we're past that part anyway. And I think John Shire and staff has done an excellent job at recruiting Cooper from the beginning. They're at every single game, kind of similar to how they are with Dylan Harper, and it kind of shows, the priority level that they're recruiting them at. So I think we're good. And I feel super confident. I haven't really felt this confident in a long time, JJ. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so here's a lot to unpack there because you're as good as it gets, Pablo. So what you're referencing for folks who might not be as up to speed, the UConn picture of it all with Cooper Flagg going on a visit there recently. Donovan Clingan is a top player for the Huskies who won a championship last season, comes back for his sophomore season, expected to be one of the top draft picks going into the 2024 NBA draft. His mom and Cooper Flagg's mom were college teammates together at Maine. On the recruiting visit, both Flagg and Cleaning put on their mother's jerseys, a really cool picture, photo opportunity that they took there. So that's kind of unpacking all of that. And then now we're getting ready for this Duke visit coming up, set to take place. And there feels as though there's more momentum coming Duke's way simply because Kansas is out of the picture now. The percentages kind of go up. It really does feel 50-50 that all of this could come together for Duke, and ultimately he makes his commitment decision there. So I don't know. I hope that all of this can kind of come to be and come into play for Duke, but the UConn dynamic of it all, I'm curious to see if it's all just been kind of a long game, a long play. Respect to you. They are the reigning champs, right? Big things are happening there, and I'm sure Cooper and his family are taking all of this seriously, but just commit to Duke already. I think it'd make us all a lot happier if that would happen, Pablo.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand what you're saying, JJ, and I feel you on that. And, just, reading some things, and I saw I think I was reading something yesterday, I think it was, and I saw that, we could probably expect a commitment probably after the Duke visit. And I think he's visiting on Countdown to Craziness. I think that's when he's going to be there. Yep. And I will actually be there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he committed at CTC, JJ. Yeah. that would be great. You know what I mean? That would be great. And if it doesn't happen at CTC, I saw something where his mom even said that, shortly after CTC, around that time frame, he will be, probably committing. So
yeah, we've never really had kind of the live Countdown to Craziness commitment take place. So if we wanted to switch it up a little bit, then yeah, that'd be amazing. I'm feeling better now. If Pablo Cong is going to be at Countdown to Craziness, giving Cooper Flagg the last minute pitch, Duke Nation, feel good. Feel good. Pablo is on his way. I love that. Let's talk a little bit more about the class of 2024 and other recruiting dynamics after our first break here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. Locked On Blue Devils here today is brought to you by our friends over at LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire could feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you would like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find those qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Moving forward here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils, JJ Jackson alongside my pal Pablo Cong at Coach P. Cong on Twitter. All right, I got to ask you this about the class of 2024. Up to 3 commitments now. Con Knipple is a part of the recruiting class since you and I last spoke. But you mentioned Dylan Harper, the one name that won't quite go away. It felt as though a decision was going to be made over the summer. That never happened. He is still yet to make his college decision. Does Duke still have a chance at landing him, or do you really think this is just ultimately going to come down to kind of a Rutgers commitment, so to speak, for Harper? What do you think, Pablo?
So for me, I think in a previous episode or maybe an article, I think I referenced to, the longer it goes, the better for Duke. I think everybody, they're so certain. Everybody's pretty certain about Rutgers, but I just don't feel that way, JJ. I feel as if that was going to be the play, I felt like it already happened. So the longer that it goes, I know Duke is still in contact with them. They're still recruiting them. And I think, Dylan knows that Duke wants him. He's a high priority on their list. So I think we're good, JJ. I think we're in the game with him. I don't think we have to gain any ground or anything like that. I think it's probably 50-50 at this point between Duke and Rutgers. And I think it's just going to come down to ultimately, what Dylan feels best for him.
Maybe, The idea of teaming up with Cooper Flagg potentially is, look, this recruiting class is coming together quite well. They need that kind of lead guard to show them the way. So Harper could be that guy. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I think he definitely is a piece that fits really, really well with the whole recruiting class. And he's one of my favorite players in the 24 class, just period, hands down. So I think, with the Cooper reclass and the potential Duke commitment by Cooper, I think that's kind of making it a little harder on Dylan too, as far as decision. I know his family, his family wants him to stay home. There's been some things said, but ultimately it's going to be up to Dylan. And I think we about 50-50. I would say 50-50.
What do you think we need to know about VJ Edgecombe, Patrick Ngaba II, those other two 2024 targets out there?
So I believe Patrick is visiting during CTC as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So getting him on campus again, I think that'll be huge. I think that'll be a really big thing to get Patrick on campus, especially for something like CTC. And, if I can, I'll make my pitch while I'm there.
You're going to be pitching everybody. I love it.
That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. But I think, just pitching to him. And then I think he'll know that, Duke needs a big and that they can prioritize him. And I think he understands that he's a good fit there. I think he got a good relationship with the coaching staff. So I think it'll fit well. And I think getting him there, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
As far as VJ goes, I don't know. I really don't know about the VJ thing just because of the depth that we have at guard now. And I think it'll ultimately come down to if we get Dylan Harper or not.
Sure.
Because if we do get Dylan Harper, getting VJ really doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? With them being not the same type of player, but ultimately I think if he did go to Duke, he would probably play the role that Dylan would play if he was to go. So we're just gonna have to see with the. I think the Dylan Harper recruitment and the commitment is gonna just, it's gonna have a lot of effect on a lot of other things around.
Yeah, like the domino effect of it all. Once that takes place, where did the other chips kind of fall, so to speak? So I think Patrick Ngaba the connections that we talk about frequently with Darren Harris, who's already committed to the program, a couple of those St. Paul VI players that Duke has had in recent memory, and Trevor Keels, Jeremy Roach, adding to that pipeline would be outstanding. And then, VJ Edgecombe, I guess that's a great point, because if you get Ngaba II and Edgecombe and Cooper Flagg, and all of a sudden this is turning into like a 7-person freshman recruiting class. That means doing just the scholarship math alone, you would need a couple of people to make decisions to move on after this upcoming season and whatnot. So,
for sure. I think they probably got it all mapped out, and they got a plan. So I don't think they, a lot of those guys on the team, that'll be playing this year won't be back on the team anyway. I mean, just due to, draft stock and, how well they'll be playing, and they'll be drafted, especially some of these freshman guards that, that we're getting to see. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. So, yeah.
Okay. So with the 4 that we're talking about, the uncommitted players, our roundup here, as it is heating up, so to speak, in 2024, Flagg, Harper, Ngaba, and Edgecombe. Is Flagg still who Duke fans should feel most confident in ultimately committing to the Brotherhood? Or how would you kind of tier those?
So I would definitely say I would go with Flagg for sure. I definitely say, I'm at 100% with him. I say, like I told you, 50-50 with Dylan. I think it could go either way. It's just a matter of, how he just wakes up that day.
Yeah. Second most confident in Ngaba? Are you more confident in Ngaba over Harper?
I would honestly.
I think I would be.
You think so? I think I might be even more. Yeah. I'll give you that. I definitely will, just because of the connection and everything going on. Yeah, I definitely would.
He's got a lot of people in his ear, man.
Yeah, he does, but he also has Kansas State in his ear too, and that's kind of hard to turn those guys down as well, because they're doing some really magical things over there.
No kidding.
Hanging them. So, I would say Cooper, Patrick, Dylan, and then VJ.
Okay, I like it. All right, let's take our final break of today's show, and we'll talk a little bit more about another premier recruit for Duke. This time he's on campus. He's getting set for his freshman year. That's Jared McCain, that we'll talk about after this timeout. Locked On Blue Devils here today is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. This is, of course, America's #1 sports book, as you can snap into action this NFL season. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you're thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than now. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and get started with the NFL. FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, an official partner of the National Football League. Final few moments here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils alongside Pablo Cong. I'm JJ Jackson. All right, tell us where we can find your work, Pablo.
Yeah, y'all can check me out at on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Coach P. Cong. I also have the Instagram at Pablo Cong Scouting. And I'm also a contributor at the Ball Durham, balldurham.com, and at the Ball Durham at Twitter.
All right, so let's check this out. So with Jared McCain, a player that I'm really interested in talking about, a lot of people have been trying to figure out who this 5th starter is going to be. We talked about it last week with Brendan Marks of The Athletic on our show that feels this from what he's hearing. It's kind of between Jared McCain, TJ Power in that last spot. Recently in his mailbag, Brendan Marks alludes to Jared McCain gaining momentum for what he could do this upcoming season. And then here we are, Pablo, you write kind of a profile piece on what to expect from McCain this upcoming season. What made you want to put that story together and kind of tell us a little bit about Mr. McCain?
So just overall, I've always been a fan of Jared McCain. He actually played on the same 7th or 8th grade team as my son. So I've always known about him.
Wow.
And that was for the Compton Magic, years ago. And so I've always known about Jared, and just following his, his whole trajectory through high school and everything. I'm just a big fan of him. He's a team guy, team first guy, obviously an elite shooter, and he's a winner. So I just seeing everything, just seeing them practice, seeing the social media videos, his TikTok videos and everything. I mean, he's just so spirited, and it just basically moved me to just write about him. And I just believe that he might be the connector piece to just get Duke over the not so much over the hump, because I don't think they need to get over a hump, but I think that he might win out to be that fifth starter, especially with, how John came out in his press conferences and his interviews saying that they want to play fast and just do different things on offense. So, I mean, to me, just looking at it in totality, I think he might be the best piece to fit in certain scenarios. So I just see it. I just see it as happening, man. I think he might get that fifth starting spot, and if he does, I'll be happy. I'll be happy, and I think we'll see an exciting brand of basketball for Duke. That's for sure.
Spirited. That's a great word to describe Jeremy. I hadn't thought about that adjective with him in particular, but I love that, because you definitely can watch that in these videos. He's had such a viral run on TikTok for so many years, and Duke has bought into that. It feels as though he's always got the camera when the team is vlogging and that sort of thing. And then you talk about what he's able to do it's one thing to kind of be Mr. Popular. Here I am dancing, doing my thing with the camera, having a good time. Totally another thing when you're actually producing on the basketball court. And it feels as though McCain's getting to do a little bit of that with the basketball, shooting from the outside too. Yeah,
no, for sure. And I think that's the best thing about him. He's not just a TikToker. You know what I mean? He'll do some TikTok dances, but he also drop 20 on you. You know what I mean? And lead his team to a win. And, he's going to have a smile on his face the whole time that he's doing it. And he's going to compete. He's not going to give up. He's not backing down to anybody. It's not sweet by any means necessary. He's going to try to go out there and get the win. And I see a lot of that happening, this year. And he's just a perfect piece. And I'm glad to have him at Duke.
No kidding. Well, Pablo, it's always great to catch up with you. We're going to continue to read your work, listen to you on the 5 Point Play podcast and all your visits here. One more time, tell us a little bit about where we can find all of your work.
Yeah, so you can find my pieces that I write for Duke basketball at balldurham.com, and Twitter handle is @balldurham. You can find me on Twitter as well, Coach P. Cong, and I'm also a part of the 5 Point Play podcast, and that's my 5 Point fam. We all gonna be at CTC, so if y'all see me, remember this space, just come talk to me. I have a lot to say to you guys, and yeah, man, I appreciate you always reaching out, JJ, and having me on again, man, and I'm looking forward to a great season for Duke basketball.
Can't wait. We'll talk again soon, Pablo, okay?
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
All right. That's Pablo Cong joining us here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils, and that's going to wrap things up for our week here on the program. We've got a Mailbag Monday coming your way after the weekend. Enjoy the bye week for Duke football. Comment down below in the YouTube section. What do you think of these recruiting storylines? Should we be buying the Cooper Flagg and UConn hype? I want to hear from you. Let us know down in the comments below. For Pablo Cong, I'm JJ Jackson. We will talk to you again on Monday. Thank you and good day.